we record, please? And then after that, call roll, please.
Okay. Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Here?
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Here.
Duber.
I am here. Now we're opening nominations. As you know, Scott was council president pro tem. So we need somebody for the remainder of this year. So opening nominations to appoint the council president pro tem for the remainder of 2020. I'd actually like to appoint Brent Silver if there's or I'd like to nominate him if there's a second. Anyone?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Anyone else? Nope. Okay, well,
I'd like to attest to his good meeting leading skills. He just demonstrated them.
well, good. Although I probably won't miss many meetings because it's on Zoom especially,
Why?
so I
On
think,
Zoom, on Zoom.
Steve, we need to call, we need to have a unanimous ballot. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can take a motion to cast unanimous ballot for Brett Silver's.
All right, so I'll make a motion to cast unanimous ballot for Brent Silver to be the council president pro temp for the remainder of 2020. If there's a second.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Everybody seconded. All right.
I think was first.
And all right, if you call roll, please.
Silver,
Yes.
shoot, somebody's trying to come in. Hold on. Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. All right. I will make a motion to approve the special council meeting minutes from August 5th, 2020. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Anybody have any comments on the minutes from August 5th? No? Okay. That means we proofread them well. All right, if you can please call the roll.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. And I'll make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from August 12th of 2020. If there's a second.
Second.
Seconded.
Second.
I got Stacy.
I think
Okay.
I was going to give it to Judd. So there.
Okay. I'm losing my
Uh,
second position as second fiddle.
You lost a while ago, Judd.
All right. Anybody have any comments, changes, corrections, yada yadas on the August 12th minutes? Nope. All right. Can you call roll, please, Anna?
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. I will make a motion to direct the mayor to dispose of the following surplus property as follows. All drugs and alcohol will be destroyed. All weapons will be converted to the village police department's use or traded in for credit for ammunition for the police department's use as directed by the law. And 3, all the property will be disposed of by a donation, recycling, or other means as permitted by the law at the direction of the mayor. Is there a second?
That's discretion. That last word.
What'd I say?
Direction.
Direction.
Oh, discretion of the mayor.
I'll second it.
Got it, Judd. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments, concerns, questions, anyone? Okay,
What is this? This is just stuff that's confiscated and sits in evidence and we just have to do something with it?
Exactly.
Wait.
If it takes a lot of time, and the cases have to be adjudicated, and then it has to be sent to the court for them to allow all of this stuff to be either used or destroyed.
Did council get a copy of the list of things?
Mm-hmm.
It went back to like 2004.
Yeah.
yep.
Well,
Well, a lot of
it
the stuff has to
takes some
sit there
time to go
till
to
like
court Before,
an appeal period's over and all that kind of stuff. So,
It was a fascinating list.
Yeah.
all right. Anybody? No, nothing? Anyone? All right. If you'd call roll, please, Anna.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes.
Can I ask a question about, I just am curious. One's like some of the stuff that only falls in category 3, do we ever hear how the mayor chooses to get rid of some of that stuff, or it's just, once it's gone, it's just gone? Like
If you want to, I should report back.
I would suggest that most of this stuff is going to be into the dumpster. The only things we have to concern ourselves with the elimination of the weapons and the if there's any ammunition and the drugs and other stuff. I mean, sometimes there's just pieces of paper, but it has to be listed to be destroyed. I mean, the parts of envelopes are part of this. If you look at very closely, but most of the stuff is just into the dumpster.
I particularly like the condom.
A lot of them.
How do you dispose
You know,
of those
yeah.
properly?
Mr. Klein, I'll let you know what day I throw this stuff into the dumpster.
Yeah.
Okay. Earmuffs. Anyone listening? All right. Any other?
It is public record, Brandon. It's in there.
Yeah, we're trying to stay PG, but we can go there. Any other questions? All right. Well, we already called roll. So moving on to the audience comments relating to agenda items only. Anybody? All right. So there is no old business. Moving on to new business. Ordinance 2020-15, an ordinance amending section 933.01B to revise the fees to be charged to residents and non-residents for emergency medical services and repealing certain ordinances and declaring an emergency. This is on for first reading.
Did everybody get a copy of Dana's analysis?
Yep.
No? All right, we'll get it to you by next week or so. Basically, we haven't changed the rates from 2008. And there's a table we'll send you that shows the average and the median and what we're proposing. Okay?
Yep.
Dana?
At the end of the day, and I don't know who, I would assume Dana pays attention to this. What is the level of difficulty in collecting these fees? Is it insurance companies that are reimbursing or individuals that are?
Well, can I just jump in here and just tell you, Judd, that for anybody who works in the village, pays a payroll tax, lives in the village, that there's no out-of-pocket expense for use of the ambulance services. We get whatever their insurance pays because you're already contributing to the general fund. So as far as what collections are, percentage to go to collections, the interesting thing is later in the agenda, we're asking to change our collections process. So you're right, Dana would know those numbers and I don't, but we are looking to change them anyways.
Well, it just seems to me that I can imagine that there's some challenge that you face, not regardless of the dollar value, but the fact that you have to chase it to.
Well, some people don't pay.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Dana, do you have anything to add?
No, tonight's legislation is rates, and that's based on an analysis that the chief prepared for me with 24 communities, and that's how we established the rates. I'll send out the little thing that I had sent the mayor showing what the rates were in the ranges and what we were proposing. So we're basically in line with where people are. And again, we haven't increased it since 2008. I believe next week we're going to have legislation to switch companies for the collections of those that don't pay. And we can discuss that at the next meeting rather than tonight. But there was an analysis that we did in terms of those uncollected that aren't processed through, and then they don't get paid, which we use one company that sends out the billings and gets the collections, and then after they're considered uncollectible, they move to phase 2, and the phase 2 is going to be discussed next week.
I'm sorry, I was confused. I did see a preliminary draft of next week's agenda, and it really is on there. Not tonight.
Mayor, can you clarify, you said that some of these services, the residents are not billed for right now?
They're billed for it. Everyone is billed for the ambulance services that they use. That is the only public service that gets a bill attached to it.
Gotcha, thank you.
We don't go back for if their insurance doesn't pay 100%. We don't go then after them for the difference unless they're a non-resident.
So would you, with this new increase?
Do the
Or
same
still-
thing.
It would be doing the same thing. Yeah, there's no change. But basically, if you know, rates go up, so the amounts that the insurance companies pay are going to be more, but they can't give us more than what we have in our ordinance. So if insurance companies are going to be paying for the basic, if they're willing to pay $550 and ours is currently at $450, we're losing $100 on that customer that the insurance company would have paid us.
Makes sense. Good looking out. Thank you. Anybody else have any preliminary questions, comments about this?
Does Chief Wilson have anything that he might want to add to that?
I do not. Dana and I have worked on this for, probably since the beginning of the year. And then with COVID, it got slowed down a little bit. But I went ahead and got all the numbers from surrounding communities and anyone that our billing service bills for. And that's how we accumulated the list. And then Dana ran the numbers and drew the averages off of those lists. So
Okay,
it's all pretty straightforward. We just haven't changed since 2008 and it's time.
thank you.
Do we know what year we
Sure.
changed? Do we know what year we changed prior to 2008?
That I do not.
I can find that.
Okay.
You can lounge again, Chief.
I was just,
All
The
right.
2008 ordinance does not make a reference to the previous section in here. So
Sorry.
it looks like 2005 possibly.
okay. It's a question I don't have to hold up things. I can
Yeah.
know later or tomorrow too.
I don't think that's particularly critical to the decision.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years since we've done something. That's more significant.
All right.
Thank you.
Moving on to resolution 2020-4, resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county fiscal officer. I will make a motion to pass the resolution. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you.
You see this twice a year, every single year. It's just telling the county that we do want our share of the millage.
We first started collecting emergency medical fees in 1991.
But we must have changed them between then and 2008.
We did. We
All right.
changed them in 2002. And then, yeah, and then 2005. So,
Oh, okay. Thank you. But not between 2008 and now.
correct.
And not between 91 and 02, that's a long time. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks.
so back to the resolution. So Dana, this is just one vote, and anything you want to add to it?
Well, this is just a result of the tax budget that we had prepared and passed back in June or July, and this sets the rate. So this is, now the county has processed the tax budget that you previously prepared, and this is setting the rates that we had requested, which are no increase from prior years. It's the same rate. So this just establishes it for the next year.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else have comments, questions, concerns? If not, Anna, if you call roll, please.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes,
Comet,
Yes.
is that yes? Vincent,
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes. Moving on to the audience comments relating to matters which advance the good of the village. Is there any audience members who would like to speak? All right.
I see audience people.
Okay. If not, then we will move on. Mayor, comments?
Yes, I'll keep it pretty brief tonight. Just to remind everybody that this Friday from 7 to 3 is Computer Flag and Household Hazardous Waste Disposal. I don't know about you, but I know what I've been doing this coming up weekend on Sunday every year for about 28 years. And I'm sad to say that this year I will not be doing or going to a Salute to Orange. That would have been this weekend. So everybody have a safe Labor Day. One of our employees at Village Hall address received an unsolicited package from China containing fake Ray-Ban sunglasses. And there have been reports of other Americans receiving unsolicited packages from China. Yes, about the seeds that we've read about, but also used socks. So just, it hit home. Our employee got one of those at, anyways, there's, the Federal Trade Commission would like you to report it if that happens to you.
Wow.
Again, I encourage everyone to fill out the census. Orange Village is currently at 79.6% response rate. We're not the best in the county. We're not the worst in the county, but we'd like to be 100% or as close to it as we can. Very interestingly, last month,
It's Jesse Markowitz. How do we fill out the census? Where do we go?
we'll send it out in an e-news or put it on our website. I believe we've been sending that information out.
It's on the website currently.
But your parents probably got it because they're the homeowner. So you're living there,
Perfect.
so they should count you.
Thank you.
Well, I wasn't going to embarrass him, but I was going to point out that Jesse Markowitz grew up in Orange and he has come back after very interesting journeys. And we welcome here. He left. Oh, there he is. Oh, look, we can even see him.
You got live.
He wants to get involved with his local government. So we welcome Jesse to getting his feet wet and joining us tonight. I don't know who Gary Bauer is, but welcome to him too. Our notes, our notes that we roll over every year until we're ready to go to the 20-year bonds for the assessment for the trails, closed last month, at the end of the month. And what's interesting about them is, well, a couple things. It had a 1% coupon on it, but the premium brought the interest amount down to a net yield of 0.3%. We got $5,214,348, and of that amount, most of the 5.2 million plus the extra 14,000 is additional proceeds which we put in our debt retirement fund. But of the 5 million too, most of it went to a finance wealth capital company. But the city of Beechwood bought a million, Mayfield Heights bought 600,000, and University Heights bought 200,000. I just found that interesting. I thought some of you on council might also find it interesting. And that concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you.
So the trails are partly owned by Beechwood.
What's that?
The trails are partly owned by Beechwood.
I don't think they could take title.
Speaking of the trails, they've been doing them down miles and it looks
They
fantastic.
look good. They
Yeah.
look,
Really
I
good.
saw them today. They look
Looks
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
good.
great. I think it's really tying the project together. And then in terms of my other comments, just for the council vacancy, we're still receiving applications. Nothing's changed in terms of the date and time for the interviews. we'll be able to formalize things a little bit more once we know exactly how many applicants there are.
Do we know how many people have applied for it?
Anna, I think 4.
so far.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
maybe 5, somewhere in there. But there's still quite a bit of time to apply. So, and then I think that's really all of my comments that I can think of. I think I had something else and it's gone. So, move on to Lisa's not here. So we'll go with Mr. Silver.
I'm missing a pair of old used socks. If anyone has seen them, other than that, I don't have anything.
Thanks. Mr. Comment.
No comments.
All right.
Comments, comment.
Mr. Klein.
Got a couple things to go over. Number one, the Planning Commission did not meet last night. There was no agenda. The only thing on the agenda was the variance for the church property on Emery Road, and it was tabled at least till the next meeting, if not further out, to get some clarification on some of the issues that are related to it. Second, we did meet on August 18th, and a number of projects were approved, including a certain councilman's house that have been approved for design and planning commission and landscape. The one thing that I did want to bring up, I sent to Anna earlier today a letter that I had drafted on behalf of the Northeast Ohio Arts and Culture Caucus Public Policy Subcommittee. The Northeast Ohio Arts and Culture Caucus is a component of Arts Cleveland. Our role is made up of appointed and elected officials of the communities of Northeast Ohio to focus on the arts and arts-related business and activities in Northeast Ohio to enhance and promote them in the community. The letter that I sent to you to review and discuss this evening was one of 2 letters that will go out, one to Senator Brown and one to Senator Portman, asking for their support and to co-sponsor what is called the Save Our Stages Act, Senate Bill 4258 and House 7806. Essentially, what this legislation will provide is a $10 billion grant program to enable stages, theaters, actors, talent representatives, entertainment venues to survive. They are faced with a dire situation where many of them are facing closure, some of which have already closed. And this piece of legislation that's in Congress right now would provide an opportunity to make money available to those entities to enable them to continue beyond the pandemic and hopefully carry them through to where they can reopen appropriately. So what we've asked to do, this letter has gone to all the members of the committee that are made up of mayors and council people from around the region. We're going to sign it with all of the names of those who have agreed to put their name on the letter that will go out, on the 2 letters that will go out. And we've asked all of those council people and mayors to present this to their individual communities to ask for additional support from those communities to either send the letter out directly from their community or send it out, redraft it on the stationery for their community to get to Senators Portman and Brown. So what I would like to do this evening, if at all possible, is to enlist your collective support to add your names to the list that I will include on the letter that I'm going to be sending out the end of this week.
Judd, can I ask you a question? Are you aware of the Red Alert Restart program at Blossom tonight? Is that the same thing as this?
No. It's totally different. It's similar but different. The red alert is a broader. It really is part of the COVID PPE or not PPE, paycheck protection and some other funding. This is a whole separate entity that's just geared at performance venues. Yeah, the red
John?
alert. Yes,
I'm sorry, when you're done.
the red alert. In fact, I think there was an event going on today or upcoming where all the theaters were going to light up with red lights to put some, if you will, shed light on the challenges that they're facing in their performance ability to provide performances and stay viable until such time as we can reconvene. Yes, Mayor.
Is there any connection with this and the Save Our Stage movement? Because as a board member of Destination Cleveland, that was a initiative that was being lobbied for by Destination Cleveland that we were to sign to save our stages, SOS.
Yeah.
Is it related? My concern on that one, although I went ahead with the board because, you know, David Gilbert knows more than I do. I was concerned they didn't have the protocol to make it safe and economically viable. So is this maybe the complementary funding? I don't know.
This provides the funding at the national level to support these venues, to enable them to make their way through to the future, if you will. And I was just going to look at something here real quick.
Sure would be a shame to lose our beautiful theaters.
Yeah, it's, you know, culturally important, economically important.
Quality of life completely.
And it's really the center of one of the real diamonds in our community.
In our jewel box.
In our jewel box. And there is another restart is basically it's part of the PPP program. Is that right? The PPP program? Yeah, to work for shuttered business. It includes all businesses. The Save Our Stages Act is specifically focused on theater and theater-related business and people that are involved in that, so that we can get along. One of the challenges we face in Northeast Ohio, one of the things you probably are not aware of, is we have a huge business that does staging for concerts that come into Cleveland and throughout the region. And all of the workers that are associated with that are unable to find work and get paid. So the Red Alert Restart is really focused on helping those people continue to be paid through the paycheck protection, because most of these people aren't directly employed in a company per se.
Can't they get unemployment insurance through the CARES Act?
They're not necessarily eligible for it because of their situation. They're trying, part of that Red Alert Restart is to provide protection so that those people can get unemployment compensation. So what I'm asking here is for your support in sending out this letter that I've already enlisted and have support from Councilman Andy Kelsert from Brooklyn, Council President Charlene Mancuso from Euclid, Councilwoman Christine McIntosh of Euclid, Councilwoman Dana Anderson of Maple Heights, Mayor Annette Blackwell of Maple Heights, Mayor Robert Fiala of Willoughby, Councilwoman Cassandra Nelson from Richmond Heights, Mayor William Judge from Barberton, Councilwoman Sue Grodick from Brooklyn, Mayor Stan Cochi of Bedford, Councilwoman Eloise Henry, President of Richmond Heights Council, and Councilman Brian Brochetti from the city of Parma. There are about 20 others that I am awaiting, some of which have said they like the letter, they'll get back to me, including Mayor Georgine Wheelo and Mayor Ed Kraus, amongst others. So there is substantial interest in supporting this. I would ask that if we could sort of unanimously do so.
Isn't Mayor Kraus on the committee?
Yes, he is. Yes.
But he hasn't went ahead and said that he'd endorse this letter yet?
I sent the letter out as a draft form to everybody last week, and he got back to me with comments on the draft, and then sent out the final draft with the ask to be included. I would assume he will give me a positive response. The same for Georgine Wheelo.
When is this letter scheduled to, when do you need an answer by?
Well, I want to send it out over the weekend because we have to do this fairly quickly. And I've asked all of the people that are currently on the committee, the various elected and appointed officials, to get back to me by Friday. So
I will do that.
So if we can, I'd like us to also be part of it.
I'm just going to make sure for myself, I'm going to just touch base with the Destination Cleveland Executive Director just to make sure I'm not lobbying against myself.
Well,
There's no
probably a
conflict.
good idea, but I don't think you are. I don't think that these things are conflicting.
That's all I want to check. I'm for everything.
And that everybody should have a happy Labor Day weekend, and enjoy what I think will be a nice weekend, and be outside and catch some sunshine. And unfortunately, we won't see fireworks.
Hey, Judd, you might want to just reach out to everybody separately and just see if that's something they want to do. Everybody on council, just to, just so we can give a yay or nay.
I could do that.
That's-
Did you all receive the letter? I just want to make sure you have it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. Well, I did. I don't know if everybody else did. I'm pretty sure I supported and all that. I don't like to.
I don't have a problem. I'll send out individually to each, so we don't create a sunshine law violation. That's why I wanted to bring it up here. So
Yeah.
Sounds good.
so far as Lisa's not here, I can send to her directly, contact her directly as well.
Or you can just put her name on it. I'm sure she. All right. Any other comments?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Vincent?
Everybody. So when last we met, Brent and I talked about the pseudo passport to Orange, but calling it something different. The PR person from Pinecrest who we wanted to meet with has been out, but she's back now. So we've got a meeting set up. So hopefully next week, Brent and I will be able to report back to you on where we're going to go with that. Quick schools report that we had brought up about the Pepper Pike / Beechwood students. They are going to be attending the Orange schools for the year. The Orange Board of Ed passed a resolution to allow the 6 students living on North Point to attend the schools, even though they technically reside in Beechwood. So Beechwood's come up a lot in this conversation tonight. So, but we're glad to have them in Orange, of course. We are sad that the band won't be performing at Salute to Orange. However, the band will be performing at the first home game on September 25th. We don't know who's going to be able to come watch that yet, but everybody's very excited about at least the chance to perform. The schools are revisiting the construction plans for the front area of the high school. This was something that came up last spring, tabled because of the COVID-19, and it's something that would be paid for by the Permanent Improvement Fund, which is directed toward those kind of projects. So that should come up at the next board meeting on September 14th. School started, for those of you who live or your kids go to the Orange schools or they don't, so they did start up with a soft start on last Thursday, and it's all virtual and has been, as from all, going pretty well. So everyone's anxious to get back to school in person, but everyone's playing it safe too, which is great. I have a question about Halloween. Has there been any discussion about, is there going to be Halloween in Orange?
The extent of our discussion, and actually I was on a phone conference last week with other mayors of other communities, and the question came up by one of those communities that really gets into Halloween big. The medical advice is if we were holding it tomorrow, not to do it, but October 31st is a couple cycles of life away. So I'm going to wait and see what the Board of Health says. It's too soon to declare. Nobody should be buying their candy yet.
Even though it's all on the shelves right now. So
well, if it's on sale, get a good price. And
yeah, I'd like to offer if there's something we could do if we don't do the door-to-door trick-or-treating for safety if there's something in Orange Village, we could do that and allows, the little kids some opportunity to,
Like what?
do a parade or a costume parade. I don't know, something
In the
that,
cold and rain?
not in the cold or rain, but maybe in the fire station,
No, that's too close. Everybody's crowding in. We
Yeah.
used
I'm
to
just-
do that.
we could talk more about it, but just something to think about if there is some way to do it. I don't know. Holding out hope the weather will be
You
nice.
know, Stacy, this world is just full of disappointments right now.
I understand. I hate when it's
Everybody, for
children, though.
everybody.
Yeah. So that was all. And I finally filled out my census. So I'm one of this, whatever percentage you said, 70, whatever percent. And I can tell everybody that it was very, very quick. So if you haven't filled out your census, you can do it in 5 minutes and it's done. I also want to welcome Amanda and Gary to the call. It's always nice to have, our residents come in and be a part of this. So I think that's wonderful. I've known Jesse since he was about 5. So it's good to see him back in Orange. So thanks, everybody. Have a good Labor Day.
A correction to the record, the residents are actually in the city of Pepper Pike. They are not in the Orange School District, they are in the Beechwood School District, so.
Correct.
But
In
they are
Pepper
not in
Pike.
Beechwood. They are not in the
They're-
city of
No,
Beechwood.
the Beechwood School District.
Part of Pepper Pike.
Right.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you for your hard work this pay period. All right. Any other comments by anybody?
Want to be
No?
worth every penny.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're done. So.
Good
been an
night,
honor and a pleasure.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
I move for adjournment.
Oh, we don't have to.
Oh, we don't have to?
No.
Okay. Bye.
Next week we do.
Okay.
Goodbye.